Hi guys, welcome to Plitvice Lakes National Park, Croatia. I know I didn't say that right, but that's okay. So it's been quite the adventure since I last talked to you guys. Let me catch you up real quick. So last I talked to you, I was exploring the city in Zagreb. I didn't end up going salsa dancing that night, just pretty much chilled. And the rest of my time there was pretty easygoing. Next day I met up with my host and we grabbed some food and had a beer and just kind of hung out. And I was doing more planning because I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do yet. And also walked along this main shopping street called Ilika. So finally I figured out I'm going to come here. Decided to stay at a hostel nearby the park because sometimes it's hard finding couch surfing people that live close to national parks. So anyways, decided to go with that this time. I had bought my train ticket online and showed my host to make sure I had all the information clear because there was no departure time listed on the ticket. So she actually called and they said, yeah, that ticket's valid for any time that day, any of the trains basically. So decided to go with the one leaving at 3 something. That was a shorter ride from what it said, 2.5 hours about, and decided to pick the station that was closest to where my host lives. Makes sense, right? So anyways, luckily she takes me to the station. I go inside. There's not really much of anything there, no screens telling you when the departures are, nothing. So I ask someone, I show her the ticket, and she basically nods no, that is leaving from another station at 3:05, and it was almost, 3 almost at this point, close to it. So anyways, I called my host, told her what happened. She came back, got me, and took me to the other station, which I didn't know exactly what was going to happen because based on what the lady told me, we wouldn't make it in time. But based on what I had seen online, there should be one leaving in 20 more minutes. So hopefully that was the case. But obviously, judging at that point, can't really go by what I saw online. So get to the other train station and ask basically the train conductor that's out there, show him the ticket and ask him is it this train? Because I don't know if it's about to leave or what. And he pretty much points me towards the bus. And I was like, what? Anyways, so after he's done conducting the train and it leaves, he takes me over and pretty much tells me it's this bus over here. So in the end, I got a ticket. I thought it was for a train, ended up being for a bus. So that was extremely bizarre. And then to top all of that off, so I get into the station, which is supposed to be 5-minute walk from there to the hostel. And it's really not a station. It looks almost just an abandoned building. I think the tracks were on the other side and that's where the bus pulled over. So followed the map to the hostel and walked by it a little and looked back and I'm like, okay, it looks like it should be that building, although it looks like there's literally nothing there, no signs. So I walk over to the building. I see a sign for the hostel on the floor. Looks pretty deserted, and anyways, ring the doorbell and this guy pops his head out the window and anyways comes down and lets me in. So apparently the hostel was officially closed because it's only open for the summer, and somehow I was able to reserve it online through hostels.com and I got confirmation and everything, but it wasn't actually open anymore. So luckily this one guy that was working there was still there, literally by chance, because everyone else was gone. The hostel was deserted. So thankfully, he let me come in, gave me a room, and so literally have this entire hostel to myself, have my own bedroom, we made dinner, or I did last night. So it's been the craziest traveling story ever yesterday. Just everything was all over the place, totally unexpected, nothing went the way it was planned. But it's actually worked out pretty well in the end. And this guy actually works at the park, so usually he does the shuttle, but I'm the only one there, so I just went with him when he had to go to work. And then luckily he was able to just let me get in without actually like having to go to the official entrance and getting a ticket and all that. He just pointed me like the way to go. So that was cool. So I've been exploring this park, which is beautiful. Basically there's all these like teal colored lakes and waterfalls. So I've been walking around the whole park since like 7 in the morning. The first couple hours there was pretty much no one here. And then like now I've passed a million gazillion groups and tours, that whole thing. A lot of Asian tourists here, in addition to like when I was in Switzerland, so that was interesting. Let me show you guys a little bit of the views peeking through here, and then I'll catch you up on a few other things. So I found out, you can see through here, the water's like really pretty. So I found out from my host that ever since the war ended in the 90s, they have like all these minefields that are still here and they're still active. So they're slowly going through one by one and like deactivating them. But basically it's going to take a while until that happens. So it's pretty scary right now. He was saying there's a lot of people coming from like Bosnia, and basically they're ultimately like trying to get to Germany. But you know, they're like legally crossing the borders and they're going through these areas, so that's pretty scary because there's all these mines still. I also noticed, like from my own experience, the language here, Croatian, from what I've heard, is most similar to Russian, because I know like a little teeny bit some words in Russian. So I've noticed some similarities. Besides like all the former countries that were part of Yugoslavia, those would all sound similar. But from my own experience, I've noticed that. So that was interesting. And I think there was one other thing, but I'm not sure I remember. I think I'll wait to fill you guys in next time. So the plan is to go tomorrow to Zadar, which is a city on the coast. But, well, anyways, still making those plans. So I'll catch you guys up next time from wherever I am, I think there. And I'll fill you in on anything I missed out on. Bye.